The vending implementation policy in St. James has been adjusted ahead of enforcement scheduled for March 2026. Mayor of Montego Bay, Richard Vernon, says all vendors must register as part of the new regulations. Food and fruit vendors operating in Montego Bay are being warned that they will be required to follow the updated policies. St. James has approximately 505 vendors, excluding those operating in the Montego Bay Market District.
Includes small hand wash station, valid food handler's permit, fire extinguisher for those who are operating with open flames, identification of sanitary convenience to be used, and government-issued ID and TRN. In terms of waste management, garbage drums will be placed at strategic locations and arrangements will be made for regular waste collection, cleaning, and washing of designated vending zones.
Under the new rules, the sale of ground provisions will be restricted outside the market district. Officials say enforcement measures will be in place and vendors who fail to comply may face penalties.
Outside the market district, save and accept cards approved for cooked food or fruits in the placemaking areas. Fruit vendors near placemaking areas where the murals are, where we are trying to build out our art district in the downtown Montego Bay area, they must operate using a reggae cart or a reggae stall designed or approved by the Roads and Works Department. Tarpaulins are prohibited in designated vending zones. However, large umbrellas are permitted.
Vendors are being urged to complete registration and review the regulations before the full implementation takes effect. Meanwhile, Mayor Vernon says the Adopt a House pilot program has now been completed. He says the team is currently reviewing the process and identifying gaps that need to be addressed. This will be done before the next phase of the initiative, moves forward.
Through the generosity of our donors and the hard work of our partners and team at the Roads and Works Department, 25 people now have a safe place to rest, including a person with a disability who had been sleeping under a tree and is here with us today. The expenditure for this pilot was to the tune of $3.5 million. We have completed the assessment to identify the strengths and areas for improvement of the program. Based on these assessments, we will now push the application and donation platform across social media so donors and those in need can connect directly.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. The Office of Utilities Regulation, OUR, is advising persons still experiencing utility issues following Hurricane Melissa to contact the regulator. This is if they're unable to get through to their service providers. Speaking on Smile Jamaica, the OUR Director General says this applies to persons who do not have the service or are unable to resolve their issues with the companies directly.
In that event, we treat that as an appeal. Our Consumer and Public Affairs Division will take that on and we'll contact the company, we'll find out, get their side, because you have to hear the other side and find out. And we will insist that if it's a contractual matter, that it is, that they rectify the situation. Sometimes it takes a little back and forthing. Sometimes they're technical issues. Sometimes we have to do an investigation. We may have to send out one of our technical people to look at the thing and so on. But we insist that you should get the service that you are paying for.
Meanwhile, the OUR says it is with the progress made by utility providers in restoring services in parishes badly affected.
They have done quite a job in mobilizing and getting back the service to customers. I spoke to the acting president just after the hurricane, and he was literally camped out in Montego Bay, trying to get back the Great River supplies and so on. So I've been impressed with the way the utilities have mobilized, and I'm also impressed by the way they have sought to cooperate, which is something that we emphasize to them.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
Opposition spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson, is urging Finance Minister Favour Williams to provide more clarity on the government's proposed digital services tax. Mr. Robinson questioned which digital services will be taxed and how the levy will be collected. He also argued that the proposal appears to contradict the government's recent decision to increase the duty-free threshold for online imports. Under the updated policy, the duty-free limit for online purchases was raised to $100 from $50, while the traveler's allowance was increased to $1,000 from $500. The government expects the digital services tax to generate $300 million in the 2026 to 2027 financial year, rising to $4.2 billion the following year. However, during her budget presentation, Mrs. Williams said the list of digital services to be taxed has not yet been finalized. About 300 agents with the Transportation Security Administration have resigned as the shutdown affecting the United States Department of Homeland Security enters its fourth week. U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says the number of agents calling out of work has doubled since the shutdown began. Mr. Duffy says many agents have already missed paychecks and notes that many of the employees do not earn high salaries. He blamed the situation on political gridlock in Washington amid a standoff over federal immigration enforcement. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Prince Moore.
Thank you, Prince. Time now for the top stories from around the world.
In the region, Dominica has confirmed the presence of lethal yellowing disease, a fast-spreading infection that kills coconut palms within 3 to 6 months. The disease, transmitted by the plant hopper Mindus crudus, has already caused major losses across the Caribbean, including in Jamaica and the Bahamas. Now authorities say lab tests verified the outbreak in Woodford Hill, prompting an emergency response. A red zone has been established with surveillance, destruction of infected trees, and public alerts on the way to protect Dominica's vital coconut industry. And on the international scene, the war between Israel and Iran is now entering a third week, with new strikes reported, including in Tehran. Israel says it plans to continue its campaign for at least 3 more weeks, saying thousands of targets in Iran still remain. The Israeli military says it struck more than 200 sites over the past day, targeting Iran's ballistic missile capabilities and air defense systems. Meanwhile, Iran's Revolutionary Guard says Israeli fighter jets hit Mehrabad Airport, one of Tehran's busiest air transport hubs. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Aliyah Bryant.
Thank you, Alia. We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report.